We're in our garden here, and I haven't shown anybody what the garden looks like since our update in early June. But this is our corn. It's all more than knee-high. It was more than knee-high by the 4th of July. We do have some sunflowers over here. And over here is a new patch of the garden. That was actually the last section of the garden that we added. And we've got Brussels sprouts and watermelon, potatoes, cantaloupe, lettuce, carrots, spinach, dillweed. Did I say carrots? We've got radishes and flowers and strawberries and green beans, all in this little section here. What else do we have? We have basil also. So we're going to let Lily try one of our fresh strawberries from our strawberry plant. Tina's going to go grab it for her.
And give me a carrot too.
I don't know if you can see that pretty little strawberry. Oh, it's not quite ready yet, is it?
No.
Well, I guess we'll let it go one more day. I guess you won't get your strawberry till tomorrow, Lily. But you can have a fresh green bean, huh?
Yeah. But I have to eat.
Why don't you grab one of these nice little green beans? Here's a nice big one down there in the bottom. Nope. Over. So over here we've got more melons all the way across the back. Watermelon, cucumber, cantaloupe. We've got big Brussels sprouts down there. This is all broccoli and cauliflower. We got cabbage way in the back. Here's our pepper plants. We have already harvested some jalapenos off of these plants over here, and I'm not quite sure what we got growing here. I know they're different kinds of peppers, but we've got a lot of strawberries and a patch up here. Some of them are getting pretty close to being ripe, and our potatoes shouldn't be too long before we harvest those. And then over here, as you can see, we've got massive pumpkins growing. And we've tied up all of our tomato plants so as to keep them off the ground and give them good airflow and circulation. Also, it gets them, when they're standing up, their leaves aren't all compressed against each other, and they can get more out of the sunlight that you get. We have tons of tomatoes growing on these plants. This first row here is cherry tomatoes. The second row is Romas, which looks like I need to tighten those ones up a little. Then the third row we have early girls, and as you can see, a nice big green tomato there. They should be ready in, I don't know, a week or two, you think?
Probably.
And then in the back row we have, what are those big boys, right?
Yeah.
And of course up front we've got our onions growing. For some reason that area there does not get as much sunlight as it should, and the onions aren't doing that great, but everything else is doing fantastic. In fact, we recently planted a couple more trays of tomatoes because we're hoping to be able to get a second crop in, which I think is doable as long as we don't have any serious frosts this fall. And here's our gorgeous white Niagara grapes and our Catawba red grapes. Got them growing inside the greenhouse. And we've also got boysenberries. We've got blackberry in the back. And then we have raspberries here. In fact, we picked some the other day and we've got some more growing. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. More raspberries growing. And these are peppers. I tried something different that I've never done before. I bought some organic multicolored bell peppers and from a local farm, and when I decided to use those, I saved the seeds and I let them dry out on a paper plate, and I planted them, and lo and behold, they grew. And I know it's something small, but when you're producing things on your own, I mean, I guess you never really consider the fact that all the foods that you're currently buying from the store, so long as they're not non-GMO, so long as they're non-GMO, contain valuable seeds, and we throw them away and don't ever give them a second thought. But now I'm more aware, and I've been saving. Whenever I get good organic vegetables, I save the seeds, and they can all be used at some point, and they're all very valuable. And over here, I know this looks terrible. I almost wasn't going to show you, but what I've done is I had to trim back the grapevines. I didn't want to have too many vines growing off, otherwise it won't produce fruit this year. So I cut some of the grapevines off, and I dipped them in rooting powder, and I planted them in these tubs that my other strawberries didn't really take off. And actually, I finally do have 2 little strawberry plants coming off. There were, I think, 4 or 5 planted in here originally. And what I did is I stuck this in. This is one of the grapevines, and as you can see, it has rooted itself and started growing. This one here is not doing so well. It does look like the stem's still alive, and it could come back. Same with this one here. You can see it is starting to grow some new leaves, and I'm going to pluck this one off here, as it's not doing very well, not really serving any purpose to the plant. And then over here we got some really nice strawberries growing. And this here was just an experiment. This was a clipping from a lilac bush, and I wanted to see if I could get it rooted. It doesn't look like it's taking, but I'm not going to give up on it just yet. And then over here we have some lovely big strawberry plants growing too. I think only 2 of them actually out of 5, and that bucket also took off. And in here, there was 5 in there, none of them took off. Here's another one of those grapevines that I planted, and that one's doing really, really good. So we'll have more new grapevines just off of the trimmings. This one here was doing really bad, and as you can see, it is coming back to life. There's a leaf that just popped out on it, and this one still has a green leaf on it, so I'm not going to give up on this one either. This was a really long one. I was kind of disappointed that it didn't do any better than what it did do, but I'll be grateful for the new grape plants that I can get growing next year. That's all. A lot of people don't think about the fact that when you sucker a plant, when you trim the suckers or you trim a vine, many of those plants can, if you just put a little effort into it, you can grow a completely new plant from that trimming. In fact, last week we took and trimmed all the suckers off of our tomato plants, and I have those down here in the shade, and as you can see, more than half of them are still alive and have taken root. So these will all be nice tomato plants that are ready to go in the ground for second crop. Well, that's going to finish our garden update. And we'll check back in with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.